What's going on, guys? So today we're gonna be talking about Jake Paul if he's taking steroids for his boxing match that he's gonna have with Nate Robinson in the undercard of the Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones fight. I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. I have no clue. Let's see. Do we think he's on steroids? Do we not? We're about to fucking find out. So without further ado, let's begin. That was a really cringy fucking intro. So, I want to talk about Jake Paul. Now, if you guys haven't already noticed, Jake Paul, famous YouTuber, you know, he's Logan Paul's brother, etc., right? I want to talk about a couple of things because as you see, you know, he's entering this boxing match, and you know what? A lot of hate is going towards Jake. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to cap. He has a lot of fucking people that hate him, despise the absolute shit out of him because of the videos he makes, and they just don't like his personality. And you know what, I'm gonna be honest with you because I keep it real. I don't really fuck with Jake too much, but I do respect the fact that he's hustling, he's fucking grinding, and he is fucking taking his shit serious when it comes to boxing. That's without a doubt. No matter if you're a hater, lover, whatever the fuck you are with Jake Paul, let me tell you something. This guy is actually taking his shit pretty serious, alright? So, you know, I want to get into the fact of maybe, you know, if he's taking any steroids, right? Now, this is not a normal video I normally make, and that's only because of the fact that he's a boxer. He's not a bodybuilder. He's not, you know, he's not competing. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, he might not be, well, he isn't if he is. He's not going to be taking the same steroids as, you know, a bodybuilder were, right? Just for, you know, gaining size, getting bigger, or a powerlifter getting stronger. In this term, in this case, you know, he might be, you know, taking certain things to enhance his, you know, stamina and, you know, recovery and, you know, shit like that. So, without further ado, let's begin. I'm gonna, you know, go through a couple of things. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe his fight is November 21st. I don't know, but I think it is. And if it is, I don't know if I'm gonna make this video and post it before the fight happens or after the fight. I don't know. I'll be the judge of that. But, I mean, obviously, you guys will know based off when the fucking video comes out. So, yeah. Now, guys, I mean, this is so prevalent. We all know this. This is common sense at this point. Mike Tyson. Now, to be honest with you, I was gonna make a video about Mike Tyson, you know, to see if he was gonna, you know, be taking anything for this fight, but let's be real here. He's taking TRT. He's on a high dose of TRT. The guy's in his 50s, I think, maybe 60s. I believe it's his late 50s though. I'm not too sure, but you know, he's a relatively old guy. He's still got it though. The guy is fucking, you know, he's beating shit up, right? You know, this kid may be a champion, the guy knows how to fucking fight, but listen, the truth is, you know, as age goes on, the older you get, it's like, you can't really, you know, do anything about it. You know, your hormones, you know, your testosterone starts, you know, going down and dropping, you know, so obviously, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, this fucking fighting champion, Mike Tyson, is not taking TRT. Come on, this is common sense. Obviously he is. But Jake Paul. I have a couple of things to say about Jake Paul. Now with Jake Paul, you see his physique, right? Now I know a lot of you already know this, and if you don't, well, listen up. It doesn't take somebody to look like they're on steroids to be on steroids, alright? This is a fact. We all fucking know this. This is, you know, common sense, because you look at half the people in your gym, they're probably taking fucking steroids. They're probably blasting 3 times the amount that an average bodybuilder would blast themselves, because of the fact that they have shitty genetics or they just don't really know what the fuck they're doing. Although he doesn't have an insane physique, we can't look at it with the same aspect as I look at all the other people I do natty or knots on and, you know, oh, is this person on steroids, etc., right? Because this is a lot different. This is a boxer. There is a possibility that, you know, either this guy is fucking taking clenbuterol or, you know, human growth hormone, because, you know, especially, you know, human growth hormone, you know, it's gonna help him recover faster. You know, he's, you know, as I pop up in the clips right now, you know, he's fucking punching, he's practicing, you know, he's working really hard. Obviously, you know, you get fatigued very easily, you know, you're working on your cardio, you know, you're kind of working on a lot of strength here, you know, and a lot of speed, agility, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be very mobile, you know, you gotta be very, you know, loose and you know, gotta be very functional, you know what I'm saying? So he might be taking HGH just to, you know, increase his recovery and, you know, speed up the process, you know what I'm saying? So he could, you know, train longer, train faster, train harder. That's a possibility, but I want to say a couple of things here. Does he have gyno? Does he have acne? Does he have hair loss? Does he have any of these things? Now, it's very prevalent that this guy has had hair loss in the past. Let me just say really quickly before we touch on the hair loss subject. You see his physique in the first boxing match he had with Deji, right? As I show you guys the weigh-ins of that fight. His physique was not too shabby. It was alright. You know, you could kind of tell he worked out. You know what I'm saying? He looked like, you know, just an average, you know, Joe, but goes to the gym, you know, tries to be healthy. He doesn't look too insane. In my opinion, he looks like he's around 16% body fat, so it's not out of the ordinary. You know, he's not even like lean like that. You know, I'm sure he had to cut weight, but you know, he's a decently tall guy. He's 5'10", even though he fucking claims like he was like 6'1" or some 6'2" or some shit to compete with his brother. Listen, brother, I mean, that's an insecurity. That's without a fucking doubt, but that's besides the point. That's for another video. So, you know, the guy's, you know, around 5'10", and, you know, obviously he had to cut, you know, weight. Obviously, Deji's a lot fucking shorter. I think he's like 5'7". He's like my height, 5'7". So, you know, with that being said, he had to cut weight, and, you know, he didn't look too shabby. And then you see, fast forwarding, I believe it was a year or a year and a half later, he fought Gibb. You know, his physique didn't progress a whole lot. You know, I'm sure his experience-wise when it comes to boxing has, but in terms of his physique, nothing is extreme. Nothing is out of the ordinary. Nothing jumped. Nothing looks, you know, a lot, you know, more impressive than usual. Looks like he maybe packed on like 4 or 5 pounds of solid muscle tissue. Not too bad. But, you know, nothing out of the ordinary. Definitely something that's, you know, obtainable naturally and that could be achieved naturally in that time frame. So, you know, it's crazy because, you know, as I showed you those weigh-ins, you saw how his physique was, right? But then you go into his Instagram, and he has pictures, and of course, I know, Instagram, you know, you could, you know, flaw the lighting a little bit, you could, you know, a little Photoshop here and there, but you see his physique, and it kind of progressed not too bad. I mean, no, not compared to, you know, his brother Logan, his fucking brother, and, you know, this was a picture, I think, a couple months to a year ago, but you see the difference. It's a big fucking difference. You know, Logan over here, but he got, you know, he has a fucking good physique. That's without a doubt. That's for a fact. His physique is way better. He'd be a way better bodybuilder than Jake Paul if that were to be the case. You know, just in terms of, you know, he's really lean too. You know, the guy was like 7-8% body fat, really lean. Fucking really dense with his muscle, right? He has round muscle bellies, so, you know, that's very helpful for him when it comes to, you know, showing off his physique and looking fucking shredded. But Jake, on the other hand, you know, it doesn't seem like he has, you know, the top tier genetics. It doesn't seem like he was as blessed. You know, I mean, it's, you know, blatantly obvious. You know, you could just tell by with the height difference and, you know, the genetic structure of his muscle building, right? Compared to, you know, Logan Paul. In my opinion, though, because like I was touching on earlier, his hair, it is very known that back a couple of years ago, I'm talking about back when, you know, Logan, for example, it's like, Logan, you know, those cringy ass like little fucking things you would say, and him and Jake. It was very prevalent and known that these guys were on the way to losing their hair. You know, you see his dad, right? You see Jake's dad. Logan and Jake's dad is fucking bald. Boy got a fucking patch like from here back. His, you know, children here, you know, Logan and Jake are very, you know, prone and already predisposed to losing their hair much earlier on in the years than, you know, the average person, right? You know, this is nothing out of the ordinary. This is not a surprise. This is a very common thing. It happens in every 2 to 3 men, so, you know, it's nothing crazy. But you just see how, you know, for example, Logan, you know, he almost reversed his hair loss. You know, he gained some of that structure, that texture, that thickness back on his hair. And then Jake, on the other hand, you know, as well as him. But you notice, as I'm not too sure, but it was either 2018 or 2019, somewhere around those years, you know, they were both, you know, they were losing their hair. Hair started thinning, hair started coming out, you know what I'm saying? So maybe either that was, you know, the genetics aspect, right, with their dad obviously having no hair pretty much. But maybe this is a possibility. When they, you know, started getting into these boxing matches, you know, maybe they took something, right, that, you know, enhanced and speeded up that process of losing their hair. You know, Jake, you look at his physique, he doesn't have gyno, he doesn't have acne, you know, his hair isn't gone anymore. Let's just say that. It's not losing, it's not thinning, it's not shredding, but, you know, his hair is whatever. He's maintaining, it seems like. Whatever protocol he's on, good for him. He doesn't really even have a full developed 6-pack. Maybe in really good lighting, he could have, you know, a 4-pack. But, you know, listen, there's a possibility that he can be taking an EPO. Who fucking knows? Because his main priority is to structurally and specifically just try to build his endurance up, his strength, his speed. You know what I'm saying? It's like you compare me to fucking, I don't know, Ryan Garcia. Who do you think is gonna win? I'm gonna get knocked the fuck out, alright? It's just common sense, you know? I am, you know, not fucking jacked, but I have a really decent frame. I mean, I'm only 18 years old, so I'm not in my 20s, guys, if you guys are fucking thinking that. I'm only 18 years old. I don't know how old Ryan Garcia is, but obviously I'm like twice his size in muscle. And, you know, so obviously I'm gonna get fucking knocked out. Kid got speed on me. He's going like he's fucking nutting like 3 times in a row when you see him in these fucking punching bag fights of his. You know, so obviously he'll knock my ass out, because when it comes to boxing, their main priority is not to gain size, because all that muscle could be more of a burden than a help. Because at the end of the day, that muscle needs oxygen, right? That oxygen needs to get into the muscle to be fueled to consistently function the way it does. It's definitely a fucking crazy process, but obviously all that extra muscle mass, all that, you know, extra mass is not needed, because all it's gonna do is slow down the boxer and the fighter in the fight. So in my opinion, is Jake Paul natural in this process? Now, I'm sure they're gonna be drug tested. I'm sure they're gonna be fucking randomly drug tested, and, you know, before this fight. I'm sure they already have. In my opinion, I think there's a possibility that Jake Paul is taking HGH. Now, call me fucking crazy. Call me wild, because I'm not an expert, right? I know a good amount, but I'm not a fucking expert. But you see, and this is very strange to say, but for those of you who do know and don't know, if you see Jake Paul's skull in the process of this whole fucking boxing, I know this sounds weird. Maybe it's the extreme, you know, hair growth on his beard and, you know, just letting the, you know, top loosen out. I feel like his head is a little bit thicker, a little bit bigger, which is a very common side effect when it comes to taking HGH, you know, because HGH doesn't just grow your muscles, you know, increase your stamina and, you know, your recovery and all this shit, but it grows everything else. That's the downside. You know, your organs, you know, your skull, your head. So that is a very, very known side effect that HGH can have. So there's a possibility that maybe, you know, Jake Paul is, you know, on an HGH protocol where, you know, he's been taking this whole training fucking session throughout these months. Maybe he's leaning off of it as the fight is closer and closer. Definitely taking something, in my opinion. I truly think he is. And if he isn't, well, fuck, man, then he isn't. Definitely got a good chest growth, though. I can be honest with you. He's got good muscle growth on him. Not know how to do ordinary, but I gotta say that. That's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. And also, if I do post this video, which I'm probably gonna post this video before Jake Paul fights Nate Robinson, who do you think is gonna win, Jake Paul or Nate Robinson in this fucking boxing match? And all the other people that are gonna fight, right? Mike Tyson, you know, Roy Jones, you know, all these fucking people. You know, you let me know in the comments down below who you think is gonna win, who's gonna get knocked out, when fucking round that they're gonna get knocked out in, etc. Right? Without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you haven't already. We're gonna blow this fucking channel up. Thank you guys for watching so much. It means a lot to me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, it's your boy Kevin Diaz from Crew Aesthetics, and we're fucking out. Boom.